Hi Capricorn, this is Tarot-blee Accurate. Thank you for tuning in. I'm just going to go ahead and get started right away with your reading. If you're new, welcome. I hope you like these videos, you share them, you comment on them, and then subscribe so that you're alerted to when the new ones come out. If you're already doing all that, thanks so much for coming back. You're the reasons why I keep doing these. Hey, thanks. So doing this a little bit different this time. We are doing a general theme for the month first, and then breaking this down into the areas of career, home, family, friends, and then love life for singles and couples. So this is for Capricorn, Sun, Moon, or Rising for June 16th through July 16th. So what do we have for your general energy? The Lovers in reverse. Now, some people take this as a breakup or, you know, a chasm between lovers, but it's not always that. You know, sometimes, I mean, it could be. It could be also like any type of partnership. It could also be in regards to business, things like that. But more often, especially since we are in a Gemini month right now, and this is a Gemini card, it's more about lack of communication or lack of good communication, okay? Now, some of you thinking about the past as well. This is thinking about the past fondly and recalling it, and maybe not necessarily wanting to go backwards, but, you know, just having those thoughts about the good times in the past. Now, that's 2 6s in a row. What else do we have here? We've got the 3 of Pentacles. Now, everybody reads tarot cards differently. The way that I read this card often is for marriage. So maybe some of you are getting married, and maybe you're having some communication issues on the wedding and things like that, or having a hard time announcing the wedding or deciding who's going to announce it and when. And then you're thinking fondly on the past. Maybe somebody sends you a congratulations through your Facebook message, and it's an ex. And then you're like, oh, yeah. Could be something like that. But this doesn't always necessarily mean marriage. This could be contractual agreements is the way that I read it too. I think most people read this card as working together to achieve a goal or something like that. But it's not at all the way that I read it. I read this more as like signing documents, maybe purchasing a home together, filling out a will, or one of those health thingamajigs, the person who decides what happens if you die, or who gets your organs if you stay alive on an incubator or whatever. Could be something like that, okay? Now, so your general theme, maybe some communication problems or splits between partnerships, thinking fondly of the past, and then contractual agreements, okay? Now, major things. And this doesn't have to be between you and a romantic partner. This could be a brother and sister, like sorting through a will or something like that, you know, that their parents had left. But those are sort of the energies that you could expect this month. Now, what is going on in regards to your career? So I would say that perhaps the disunion or the communication problems you're having are at work. You might be dissolving a partnership with somebody. Maybe you went into business together and then you're like, I don't really want to do this anymore. And it doesn't necessarily have to be a bad thing. It could just be like, you know what, you were my mentor and I've learned a lot now, and now I'm going to go do this on my own, or vice versa. But it's definitely some sort of a separation from something that you once used to love a lot, and now maybe not so much. Another way this could be taken is that perhaps you have developed some feelings for someone in the workplace and you both can't work there now. And that's kind of sad too. So you're thinking about how things were in the past and how much you loved your position and your coworkers, and now you're like, oh, I gotta go sign on to a different job. Could be something along those lines as well. What else is going on for your career, Capricorns? You know what I forgot to mention about those 6s? 6s are about balance. So achieving balance, okay? Page of Swords. So, you know, if there is any sort of communication problem. It is probably between you and an entity, a company, or you and one other person, because this here is a very well communicated message of truth in regards to your career. So maybe this is coming clean to your boss and saying, hey, me and Stuart are in this relationship and so I'm resigning. Doesn't have to be that, but it could be. But then, there's celebration here. Maybe you and Stuart are getting married, and so there's going to be a party after. Maybe there's a farewell party to you. What else for career? It is challenging to walk away from something that gives you a lot of emotional fulfillment, but you know that if you cross this river, see how the grass is green here, but it's even greener on the other side. So it's challenging to go past those emotions and to leave this stuff behind. But you're going to do it with passion. You are guided by the sun and the moon. Feels right to you day and night to do so, and so you'll do it. And but it's hard. It is, and you feel like you have to defend your actions and your choices. So I would expect a lot of change for people in the workplace. If you're not exactly changing career or changing location of where you work or anything like that, you may just be, it might just be like major changes in your emotions and how you feel about it and who you spend your time with. It could be losing clients, changing regions, anything like that. Now this card came out too, which is the moon. And so it's like, you have that sun and the moon again. So it's saying to challenge yourself. Remember, where did that card go? I already shuffled it back in, darn it. But the point was, we have the sun and the moon like this as a challenge. And I was saying you were going to go from where the grass is green to where it's even greener, right? And it's a challenge to be passionate and excited to do so. But this card here is saying, both while you're at work and when you're at home, you're maybe thinking about it and you're not so sure. You might be a little bit suspicious. You're trying to trust your intuition and just go ahead with that, but you're just not quite sure sometimes. So that card was there as a challenge to just tell you, like, really trust that it's right for you, okay? Because it is. I just cannot get away from career. These cards are just flying out over and over. And then it says challenge yourself to really think about what it is that you want, because the magician this is like the law of attraction card, okay? So you see all this yellow, it's because you need to focus your attention on the things that are positive and that will make you happy, because the magician is so powerful. It's like getting a thought in your head, and then the more that you think this thought, the more true it's going to become. You have a magical ability to divine what it is that you want, and so you're challenged to keep those thoughts positive. Think about the good things and not about the lack. So if you're always worrying, like, oh, I don't know if so-and-so loves me the way that I love them, or something like that, because this big cup card here, then it's going to be that person ending up doubting or wondering if they love you. Instead, you could say, I love the way they show me love in this way, and then they'll start to show you more love in that way, or something like that. Instead of saying, gosh, I'm really worried that I won't be able to pay my rent this month. Instead, you should think, I've been so fortunate that I've been able to pay my rent every month on time. Okay? And then hopefully by using that and not thinking worry thoughts, by staying in the positive aspect, you should divine that to be the truth. Okay? Now moving on to your home life and your family life. And if you don't have family close by, this could be like friends that you consider family, anyone close to you. We have the Queen of Swords. So if anyone has been taking advantage of you, you might give them another chance and, hear them out. If you feel like they've been lying to you or whatever, you say, okay, come here. You know what? I will hear your side. If you feel like maybe they've betrayed you, something like that. But you are very in control. You've been there, done that. You can cut right through the baloney. This is her sword of truth. She just cuts right through that bullcrap. If anyone's lying, like, she knows. Nobody can fool her, and that's you. Okay? So, don't just cast anyone to the side based on what you think is happening. Let them come and tell you their story, and then you can decide if you want to accept it or not, you know? Because the Queen of Swords can be very forgiving and very fair. She is very fair. She tries to be fair. But, you know, anyone watching this involved with a Capricorn, don't try to fool them, because this month they will know. They'll catch you if you're lying. And then also we have the Ten of Pentacles in reverse. So remember when we were talking about that Magician card in career? It might not be the best month for just stability in regards to finances and home, which is unusual for a Capricorn. Capricorns are very stable, earth energies. You might not be able to put any money away this month, anything extra. Now, moving on to your single Capricorn love life, we've got the Sun. Yay! So maybe you're super happy that you're single. Maybe everything's just working out. It is, you know, vibrant and exciting, and there's a lot of joy. And maybe you're using that Magician energy to draw in the right kind of people for you, or just draw in a really good time. These guys just jumped out here too. There may be people around you who have some way to help you, to benefit you, but you're too proud to really accept that when things are out of balance. Or maybe you are just not seeing that it's available. So when you start to feel out of balance, single Capricorns, open your eyes and be willing to receive. Sometimes there are people who give and give and give, and are afraid to take back. And if you're feeling guilty about something being offered to you, don't, because it's going to create emotional imbalance for you. Now, for single Capricorns, it doesn't seem like you will have a lot of time to really focus on your hobbies this month, and that might annoy you. What else for single Capricorns? In regards to love, we have a challenge, one that just trying to sneak out here. So again, that Queen of Swords energy. So especially if you're dating someone that you've known for a while, if you're going to start dating them. But this could also be someone too that maybe you're considering dating, or you have just started dating. If maybe you suspect that they're kind of a player and they say, no, 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 I'm only seeing you. Allow them to talk to you about it, but just know that you're going to figure out the truth anyway. Okay? And so if you're watching this because you're messing with a Capricorn, they will find you out, so be honest, okay? And it doesn't mean that anyone is malicious or is going to do anything like that, but it's just saying, you know, it's encouraging you to offer people second, third, fourth, fifth chances, but also to be smart and in control. Like, you know better logically. You're not really thinking so much emotionally, and I would say perhaps you want to try to do that. And then we have the Death card in reverse that just jumped out, and it's just saying that there's not going to be any real dramatic door closing, door opening this month. It's like things might just kind of carry on throughout the month. There will be, maybe coming up after July 16th, more insight and more solidarity as to like what is going on. You might be in this place where you're kind of like on again, off again in relationships and dating, where you're sort of committed and you're sort of not. But all of that should end after. But just this month, it's just going to kind of be that way, unfortunately. I know that's not what you wanted to hear, but I have to tell you the truth as to what the cards say. Another challenge here. It's just reminding you to remind yourself that the worst is behind you, okay? Everything is better from here forward. And maybe that's why that Tower card came up as like less of a big deal. So those Capricorn, Sun, Moon, and Risings who are single, no, that was singles, that are coupled, what do we have for you? We've got the Ace of Pentacles coming in. If you and or your partner were thinking, hey, let's move, let's take this new opportunity somewhere else. Like maybe your partner says, hey, I really want to take this job over here. It requires us to move to a different state. Why don't you start looking? It's like, that's just not coming in for you right now this month. And maybe your partner, you're like telling them, hey, I don't really want you to take this job. I don't know why you want to do it. We're really stable. We're really happy here. And then you feel like they're judging you and like that you're limiting their options and that it's not fair. Okay? And then you get a little bit worried, like, what are they telling their family and their friends? Like, they must think I'm such an a-hole, like, such a control freak. When maybe that's not the case. Maybe it is, but maybe it isn't. But it's just like, you have to take action and really declare what it is that you want and be honest about that. And you really have to make an effort to have really great communication with your partner this month. It's funny because it came out twice. It's saying, do this, and then it's saying, it's going to be challenging to do this, but do it, okay? Make sure that your communication is so clear and so honest, and that you think it through before you go blab into them, okay? Because you might be a little bit stubborn. But you know, it's like, you don't have to, I wonder if some of you might be taking some time off of work right now. And it's making you feel mopey. Some of you might have a little vacation, you might have lost your job, you're just feeling a little bit down and not in the mood to think about things emotionally, and I think that's where some of the problem is with, remember how we had that Lovers card in reverse? So that might be resonating here for you, where it's like you and your lover, your partner, you're just having a communication chasm because they are thinking with their heart, you know, with their emotions, and you're thinking from like a more logical standpoint. So, you know, if they're saying, hey, it's really important to me, I really feel like I want to go on vacation, and you're like, logically, we just don't have the money right now. I'm not going to spend all of our savings because on a whim, you feel like you need to go on vacation. So you could be having trouble like that. You're coming from a different place here. But, you know, when it comes to your day-to-day life, I think that you are going to make some good decisions that make you really happy in the end. But how will they make your partner feel? I think that's important to assess. They'll just feel like it's a little bit challenging to think about things from a point of stability, from, you know, these 4 pillars, where they really need to focus more on the home and the day-to-day. That's kind of their challenge. But how will all of that play out for your relationship? It's just seeing things from a different perspective. Okay, so you, this is a 4 when it's reversed, right? And you were the 4 before. But now, let's just say 4, 4, 4, 4, 4, 100 more times. The 4 before. Anyway. So, this is you though. And you're trying to see things from their angle. And you'll take an action, but you need to both step in the same direction or it's going to be a flipping disaster. But if you can figure out how to communicate and step in the same direction together, do you see all those stars? It's all wonderful. It's all great. And it's all great in July, real soon here. That's month number 7. So, if you would like some personal guidance, because it sounds like you might need some this month, all of my contact information is in the description box below. If you are interested in following the daily readings, those are on Facebook. So if you like the page, then those will show up in your feed. Otherwise, see you next time. Bye, Caps.